4 years ago, I was driving home minding my black business and I got pulled over by a cop. I didn't have any tags, I didn't have a plate, and I was driving about 70 in a 50. And I got pulled over and he said, "You know how fast you were going?" I said, "Pretty fast." He said, "Yeah, you were going insanely fast. This is a 50-mile-per-hour zone. You don't have any tags or a license plate. Did you steal this car?" I said, "Not at all. By the way, this was a Caucasian officer. Just want to point this out." He said, "Okay, can I see your ID and license registration?" I said, "Yeah, 100%. I gave him my license. I had no registration because I just bought the car. So he said, "Why do you not have any registration?" I said, "I just have the title. This is a Michigan title. I need to go to Ohio in order to grab a title." He said, "Okay, then why are you going so fast? If you go fast, I'm going to stop you." I said, "That's fair. That's understandable. I apologize. I really don't know what to do. I'm extremely stressed, and I apologize for that." He said, "Okay, wait right here." He saw that I had felony charges. I had arson charge. I had a trafficking charge for drugs. And he saw that, and he said, "Okay, here's what I'm going to do. You obviously have a lot going on in life. I'm going to escort you to Ohio. This is a state patrol officer." And I say, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, I'm going to escort you." And he escorted me to the BMV. And I got my title transferred, $156. Then I got a plate and some tags, which was $85. And then I got insurance. He made sure I got insurance before I drove off the lot. Ended up spending $410. I thought I was going to spend $500. And that guy is amazing. White guy. That is not white privilege, by the way. That is me being personable as a human being. Another experience happened. I was driving really fast. Had my car finally. Driving super fast. We're going 1,000,000 in a 2. Just boom, Lightning McQueen. I'm fast. Hee! Going crazy. And then, what's that? Red and blue. Gee willikers. The worst colors in America, despite that being on a flag. Oh, red, white, and blue. A white officer pulled me over. Gee willikers. Knocks on my window. Doo, doo, doo. Know how fast you were going? The speed of sound, good sir. I didn't say that, but I wish I did. I said, "Pretty fast." He said, "Yeah. You in a rush?" I said, "Actually, yes, I am. I need to get home. I've had a very stressful day. I could really use a break." He said, "Okay, license and registration." Gave him my license, gave him my registration. I had it this time. And he said, "Okay, wait right here." Came back and said, "Okay, give you a warning, but you're good to go." Really? Yeah, just don't speed. 13 minutes later, got pulled over by a second cop. White guy again. Very reasonable, about the same interaction. Nothing bad happened. What happened in these situations? Was I respectable? Was I kind? Did I not retaliate in anger and that's why black people get shot because they're so angry? Wrong again. Because not everybody is a psychopath. Humans are different, each unique, and each person is different. Why did I tell you those stories before I even got into the premise of this video? Why did I even do that? Well, let's talk about white privilege. White privilege exists. It does. White privilege is a very real and palpable thing. I remember so deeply in my chest how angry I was going to Japan. Why am I bringing up Japan while I'm talking about white privilege? You wait right there and sit in your seat, young man. You wait right there. Or woman, whatever you identify as. I'm watching you. I was staying with a man named Yukimura in Saitama, Japan. And we went to Kyoto. In Kyoto, I was called Chris Rock. They called me Will Smith. They called me Eddie Murphy. And a lot of people approached me and asked me to do the black voice. I said, "What you talking about, cuz? I don't know what you saying, Sly. I don't know what you saying." They said, "Oh, the black voice." They love black scents. And I saw a guy with dreads. We interacted. He was a hairdresser. Great man. He stayed in Osaka. Great man. Great time. I loved the entire experience. And sometimes the women would come up to me and they wanted the experience of black. That's exactly what they called it. Experience of black. Which simply meant that were never going to date me. No marrying, no romantic intimacy. They just want to see what it's like downstairs. That's all they wanted. That's it. And did I let that happen? Well, I have self-respect, so obviously I rock their world. Let's get it. Why would I pass up the opportunity for free goomply gomp? I'm not passing an opportunity for free schlamble-gamp. I'm getting schlimple gorman. I'm making it mackin', obviously. But they talked bad about me in Japanese. I did not have Japanese privilege. The privilege of being Japanese in Japan. I didn't know what they were saying, and they were insulting me when I did learn a little bit of Japanese. Same experience in China, same experience on Jeju Island when I went to Seoul, and when I went to Gangnam. I had a horrible time in those areas because the idea of being more whiter skinned was perpetuated deeply in Korea, even in Japan and China in most capacities. The whiter your skin is, the higher status you have, and I don't have particularly light skin, one might say. It represents purity, is what they thought. So what is white privilege? You're probably thinking to yourself, I've already commented on the video, I didn't even watch it. White privilege doesn't exist. White privilege, I don't have any money. I grew up poor, broke as a matter of fact. Guess what? I grew up in destitute, and I grew up in a trailer park, and my family suffered. Yes, that's fair. That is not what white privilege is. White privilege doesn't mean you immediately get money each month for being white. It doesn't mean that by virtue of being white, your life's gonna be easy. That's wrong. Life is hard for everybody, period. White privilege is the privilege of being white in America. It is not the abundance of opportunities. It is the absence of obstacles. And I'm sure you've had obstacles in life. I'm sure you have. Hard to get health care, hard to get a job, wondering why the job market's in shambles. Obviously, you've had those issues. I am not saying you haven't. I'm saying that if you see another white person in the room, say it's like 80 white people, there's all the same faces. I go in a room full of white people, I'm gonna feel a bit off. I see another black person. Well, this is my black privilege in effect. We can say I have black privilege. I'm gonna walk up and say, my N-word, my N-I-G-G-A, what's going on? High five, and we have a secret handshake upon our first interaction. We talk about ramen noodles and struggling and getting beat by a switch by our father. But I got beat by a switch of my dad, you say as a white person commenting right now. Yes, I'm not saying you didn't. I'm really not. I'm actually not saying that. So, can we get back on topic of white privilege for a second? Let's reel it back in. I know you want to relate to us really bad, and you want to be a part of the conversation, and this video is about you, but this is what I'm talking about. Your need to be a part of a situation so bad is ignoring the obvious thing that by virtue of being just white, you lack a few obstacles that we as black, Hispanic, Arabic, whatever race have. We have a lot of issues. I remember I put my name on an application. My name is CEROSDELAGLRANDZ. Ceros Dele Grans is my first name. Not the whole name. My whole name is much longer. Disgusting long. My first name means worthless trash. Sorry, grand worthless trash. That's what my first name means. Zero. Ceros. It's not a stage name. That's just my name. My dad named me that in retaliation of things. I put that on the application. They thought I was casting a spell. But the room started floating when they said my name and input it into the application. They didn't even hire me. So I got an American name. For a while, I was Curtis. Got my name changed to Curtis. Got to change to Caleb. Then I got to change back to Ceros because I got sick of it and I didn't need to worry about that anymore. But when I was Curtis, and when I was Caleb, and when I was Jacob, I got a lot more jobs. Now, you could say that that is a pure coincidence. And I would say that too, if I didn't work as a hiring manager for 3 years. As a hiring manager, your job is to go through the applications and figure out who to hire for a review and see who it is. And we care deeply about if you check other on that race box because we want to know what you are. We care deeply if you put male, female, or other. We care about that. That matters. It matters a lot. I'm not saying there are diversity hires, but I am saying that we do like having a bunch of people of caucus variety at the debt collection agency, is what they kept telling me. They kept saying, people that look like us. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And I said, like us or like you? He said, you know what I mean? I said, okay, like you. And so primarily, I was a great hiring manager because I stayed in my place. That is white privilege. White privilege is being able to get out of a cop ticket. Now, I imagine some of you have a difficulty getting out of a cop ticket. Obviously, there's a lot of privileges that exist. Pretty privilege, ugly privilege. Yeah, that's a privilege too. We'll talk about it later. Not in this video, but another video. And White privilege exists. It's real. It's okay. And I know what you're going to say. The real thing is green privilege. The real thing is green privilege. The classism. Yeah, 100%. You're right. You're not wrong. I think the issue in America is not poor people. It's not even the super rich. It's the complacent middle class. We're so satisfied. And if you struggle paycheck to paycheck, you're not middle class. That's not what I'm talking about. Middle class is the ability to buy a house, to have a family, to have one income in the household, and sustain everything. If you're a middle class and you are complacent with that, you are a part of the problem. That's white privilege. I know what you're going to say. There are black people that can retaliate. There are. We're in far less numbers. I believe black people make up about 15% of the population. Yeah, 50% of the population responsible for 80% of the crime. Very common phrase. Cool. Thank you for saying that. Proud of you for commenting that. Go to hell. So there's things of that variety. However, this is the bigger issue with what I find here. The middle class is the issue for me because you have your fancy fridges that could talk to people from across the world. You have your square, rectangular devices that you could order food with in a heartbeat, eating like kings, able to pay your bills every month, able to fulfill and satisfy your dreams, able to go to college without student debt or tuition, despite the fact that it's horrible in America right now and the economy is terrible. Retaliate, fight back, and stop sitting on your bums would be my suggestion. Well, the poor retaliate. They're not well fed. They don't have the energy. We don't have the energy. I'm poor. I can't afford most things. I really can't. I got most of these things by sheer luck or manipulation. That is how I've achieved status. And I want to tell you that if you don't think white privilege exists, that's okay. If you are still going to live in your ignorance, that is fine. I don't care. I really don't. But it's the sheer amount of people that don't know what it is that annoys me deeply. It is companionship and kinship with people of your same race. And because most of these systems in America for the past 200 some odd years have been built specifically garnered towards white people, and black people recently, I believe it was the 1920s, something of that variety, got the right to be people, and the 1960s of some variety got the right to be even more people. It's a new thing for us, and black people still have a lot of residual hate for the entirety of how their ancestors were treated, and white people still have a lot of residual hate for black people just existing, and that's America, the greatest country in the world. And there's no better place, there's nowhere I'd rather live than this place. I really wouldn't. Egypt is way worse than this, by the way. I was born in Egypt. It sucks. Africa sucks. China is horrible. I hate Japan. I've been around the world and they suck compared to America. America is a carnival of a place. You can get famous off of nothing here. You could do and accidentally get viral off of nothing. It is amazing to live here. It is fantastic, all by a luck of the draw. The world in itself in America is a lottery of fame. Who knows what's going to happen the next morning you wake up? You never know if you're going to get viral off of nothing and nonsense. You never know if you're going to get fired and then become a millionaire. It's all at the drop of a hat, at the whim and mercy of entertainment. That is the world of America. We rule the world and siphon in that life cock. We love siphoning it. It's the greatest thing on the planet. It's fun. It's fun, and it's fun. White privilege exists. And if you don't think it does because you don't have a lot of stuff and you grew up poor, that is okay. Because you are just poor. You are not black. Big difference. Just because you are poor does not give you an intrinsic inward pass. Just because you are poor does not make it seem like you do not have white privilege. If you became rich and a black person became rich, you know what would happen? The black person would still be greeted with stares upon entering a room. I remember so deeply, I was in Mackinac Island. In Mackinac Island, I was viewed as an anomaly. What am I doing around these haughty people with yachts and things of that variety? I was meeting a guy off Grindr. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was meeting a guy off Grindr, and he was DL, and he paid for a lot of things. He took me out in the middle of the water, and he gave me the old blowy Joey. And as this event was happening, he was getting a call from his wife 7 times over. He told me that, you know, people like your kind really only good for about 3 things. And he explained to me some racist nonsense. And I said, probably. Didn't matter to me. I was getting paid $750 to be out there. Didn't matter to me. I didn't care. Because at the top, race still matters. Even if you think it doesn't, race still matters. It does. It makes your morals looser when you get to the top and you're still black, but it still matters. There is green privilege. It does exist. I am not denying that. And classism is real, obviously. But what I'm saying is that if you get rich and you are of caucus variety, you yourself will have an easier time than if I got rich. Everything I do apparently is political. Everything I do is a statement towards my people because I live on the backs of my people and I carry them to the end of the finish line. I don't want to be a political statement, but your existence is political. You know that, right? It is not. It's really not, because I don't care about you. I don't care. I don't care about black people, white people, Asian. I don't care about none of that. I only care about people in total. I care about humans. I care about the totality of the human race. I care about Germans. I care about all of you equally and collectively. That's what I care about. That's it. That's all I want. This is gross. White privilege exists because the world is stupid. Black privilege exists because the world is stupid. Privilege exists because humans are judgmental. White privilege exists because we're stupid.